Lunch with Leah, episode 419. And here's Leah.
Hi, everybody. Look what we're having for lunch. These little morsels of a cracker, a little coffee, not steak and lobster.
That's for sure.
Anyway, so I'll pass on that. Oh, I love this monk fruit so much. I use it all the time. I'm addicted to it.
It's your new thing.
It is so good. And no chemicals, no nothing, just pure monk fruit. Did I give them the website one time?
Yeah, I think you did
It's
talk about that.
www.monkfruit, MONKFRUIT, .us. But anyway, this guy sent me the sample, and I bought it 3 times already, and I've been giving it to people because it's just so good. No chemicals, no preservatives, no sugar, no nothing, no calories, no carbs. It's just pure monk fruit. It's so good. Anyway, I finished RJ's room, 99%. And I'm so glad that's done. And his roommate's been so sweet. He let me fix his room exactly the way I wanted, which is perfect. And they match, kind of, they blend, you know. And then the other thing, his roommate, Jason, you're gonna love this. So every time I went in, his roommate was picking at his face and putting, you know, acne cream on it and doing all this stuff with little pimples. And I said to him, I'm gonna bring you some skincare to use. Because he had this exfoliant from the drugstore that was orange, and it was turning his bed sheets and his towels orange. So I said, I'm going to buy you all new towels, but you got to throw out that orange stuff. So I bought him all new towels and a comforter and everything. And he threw out his old stuff, which was stained with that orange stuff. So I took him our exfoliant, which is white, and I took him our moisturizer and serum and wash, right? Would you believe his face cleared up in 3 days? When I went in there yesterday or the day before, he goes, Miss Black, he goes, that skincare is really working, because he said, it's really working. I don't have, look at my face. And he didn't have one blemish. And he had, before that, he had tiny little pimples and little spots he was picking at. And then he said, you know, I'm in ROTC and they do drug testing. Are you sure it doesn't have anything in it? So then I got nervous. I was like, oh my God, what if? So I called the lab. I go, can you guarantee me 100% there's 0 THC in it? And he sent me a text back, and then I forwarded it to him. And I said, yep, there's no THC. I mean, we've been told that and we know that. But the fact that I could get this kid arrested or kicked out of ROTC made me just kind of panic. Like, maybe I should double check it. Hey, anyway.
Can you move your mic up just a little bit? It's getting a little...
Is it hot in here, Jason,
there you go.
or is it me?
That might be you from the...
It seems hot. He can do it, James. James, what are you doing? Have our maintenance man do that, James. Where's the maintenance department? We have the maintenance department. I hear some of you were complaining about all of our boxes last week. Well, we've gotten them almost all cleared up. But what happened is the warehouse in Texas became overwhelmed and overflowed. So we decided, just instead of expanding it, just make this also a warehouse and a showroom and a fulfillment center. So now we've moved up to 2 fulfillment centers and 2 warehouses and 1 showroom. Anyway, so what else? So Jason did something with his sister over the weekend. What was that, a wedding or something? Did she do a wedding or something?
No, we just went up to St. Pete's.
Oh, I thought you were doing like one of those...
No, it was a vacation getaway.
Oh, well, who all went?
Just Teresa and I.
You didn't... Oh, Les didn't go?
No, Les was in LA.
What's he there doing, selling jewelry?
They had a friend's wedding.
Oh, and Teresa didn't want to go to the wedding?
No, she wanted to have a break.
She wanted to have a break from Les. Well, if you do want the best wedding planner, event planner, charity planner, everything, she's really good. Teresa Bloomberg. You can get a hold of us. We'll tell you how to get a hold of her. But what Jason sometimes helps her with those events on the weekends.
I do, yeah. No, she's always good.
So you went to St. Petersburg?
Oh, beautiful.
There's so many places to go. And why would you go to the west coast of Florida?
It's up in the Panhandle.
What was that famous hotel we were staying in? The Don Cesar? Yeah, Don Cesar.
I don't know. I don't know anything about St. Petersburg.
But we forgot it was obviously a holiday weekend.
Oh, Lord. What was it, Valentine's weekend?
Yeah, President's Day.
President's Day. Well, that's mourning in today's world. We have a day of mourning. The current president mourning.
Because of Valentine's Day.
Yeah, but it was nice. So anyway, for Valentine's Day, I got this big, gorgeous plants with orchids and roses and everything from Roy Jr. and Roy. I was like, oh my God, that's fantastic. And then 2 or 3 days ago, Roy Jr. texted me. He goes, "Mom, isn't Dad's birthday tomorrow?" I was like, oh my God, yes, of course. So of course I had to send this last minute basket of stuff, but I was laughing at myself like, how could I forget that? Because there's so much going on. I mean, it's just so much going on. We don't celebrate stuff like that anyway. So listen, if your orders are one day delayed, remember President's Day, they didn't have a pickup because it was, so we had orders sitting here from 5 o'clock Friday till Tuesday at 5 before they went out. So that's, if you're late, that's why. So don't panic.
Everybody should have it by the end of the week, though.
Yeah, they'll be there. They're on their way.
Everyone's saying hello and how beautiful you look today.
Hi, everybody.
Some of them are saying they did not get notified that you were live on Facebook today. So I didn't get the notification either through the personal pad I'm using here to watch.
Aren't you supposed to be
sending
that out?
It automatically happens when we go live, but for some
What the
reason,
hell's wrong
it's
with it?
another reason for me to hate Facebook
Because
today.
Zuckerberg doesn't want anybody that's not promoting Trump and his propaganda on the Facebook, so they're just going to sabotage us, but they still want our business, our money, and our contacts.
Yes.
I can't.
And if I couldn't trace some of the business back to Facebook, I would certainly say we could get rid of it, but we can't.
God,
it's
annoying. Everybody I know
traffic and business.
Everyone I know has gotten off of Facebook unless they have a business.
Yep. That's really what it's turned into.
Meanwhile, so listen, Roy's been going to rehab on his leg, and he may not have to have that surgery. We're going to find out in a couple of weeks. I mean, if he does, I'm just going to shoot myself. 6 weeks, one of those roller things rolling around like Tamara had.
I knew that.
That he's trying. I know. But listen, 3 people told him to do it within 10 days. He had 3 major orthopedic surgeons. Now, this UM orthopedic surgeon's the top at the UM, like the top. He says, listen, you're past the 2 weeks anyway, and chances are if you keep doing the rehab, and maybe. So I'm hoping anyway.
Oh my goodness.
So let's see.
Hopefully he'll be okay.
What does that say? I slept all day Saturday. I don't know what happened to me. I just literally slept the whole damn day. I think I was just so exhausted from everything. And then
you sound better.
Well, yeah, because I went to rehab and got my back fixed. I got over the cold. Now guess who has the cold? Dave has the cold. He was coming here today.
Yeah.
Started the same way. He said he sleeps all day. I said, Dave, listen to me. I'm sorry the circus isn't coming to town, meaning their entourage coming down here for the day, but you better get to the doctor and get some meds, because I didn't do it. Because every other day you start thinking you're going to feel good, and then it hits you again, and then you're like, you don't feel like going to the doctor. Then it hits you again, and so it goes on and on and on for 3 weeks. So if you get anything like that, just go. Force yourself to go. And I guess I hate taking antibiotics, but I did take around. You got to take around.
Office is sick.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Everybody,
all the other helpers are all sick
Jason
today.
Jason sent them all home. Thank God we're ahead.
Yes.
Thank God we're ahead. We got ahead.
Yeah.
We've been planning it to get ahead, so that was good. And then let's see. All my scarves are now organized like ducks in a row, and they're all on their own individual clips, and they're listed by Hermes, McQueen, the this, the that. I didn't realize how many Dior scarves, Chanel scarves, Givenchy. I have so many. Listen, if I drop dead, sell them on eBay for me, James. And you can split the money with my sister.
As soon as I get finished, bringing the Versace China home.
That's right. Yeah, after you get your Versace China out of the house.
Get it over to my place safely. I'll sell everything else.
God. Yeah, I got to split the money with my 2 sisters because, RJ's already said, and they don't like this. Like, they would not enjoy or use any of this fabulous stuff. They're like, live in Texas. They're very simple. They're like, they don't want to wear an Hermes scarf, and they're not interested in a diamond, so they'd rather have the money. And they would sit there and rot with mold before Roy did anything with them.
Oh my goodness! Listen, there should be a massive game plan just for the Hermes bags.
We should.
I mean,
we should have a task
we need to have like a complete plan in place.
Jason's going to make sure that Hermes bags get sold, and that money goes to them.
Yes.
And then the jewelry. What are we going to do with the jewelry? I'm taking it with me. The coffin's going to weigh 500 pounds. You're going to have to put a security guard guard at the cemetery because the coffin's going to be loaded.
We might have to put you in that Versace urn I'm planning on using when I pass away.
But, yeah, you're going to have to. And then you can have the urn and look at it. Oh, my God. And so now we've got to make a plan for the summer. RJ's already complaining. He's like, I don't want to go to LA all summer. I get bored there, Mom. I don't have that many friends there. I'm like, you don't have any friends because when we go there in the summer, all the people that we know that have kids your age go to the Hamptons or they go to Europe. So now that you're older and you can get out, you'll have friends there. And he's like, I just get bored there. And I'm like, well, we're not going out of the country with that virus going on, with that coronavirus going on. So
No,
where
thank
do you
you.
want to go? I mean, what are you going to do? Sit home? We'll be bored here. If we go to LA, you'll be bored. So I'm going to get him an internship at Disney if I can. That's my first choice. I'm going to check UCLA and see if he could take one class and he could transfer the credits. And then there was one other thing I was going to do. I made a list of stuff to come. Oh, and then I got a hold of the guys that own Posh Pet Care, the best pet care and grooming center in all of West Hollywood and LA.
Right.
And I asked them, and they're going to scout around for stuff to do. And then now Ronnie's not even there anymore. He's half the time in Texas, which is boring the
I've
hell out of
noticed
me.
his
Well, he bought a house in Texas. He planned to rent it out. It was an investment, but now he's staying there a lot, and then he's traveling a lot. Watch What Crappens.
Yeah, those guys are on the road all the
So he's not
time.
there that much.
Yeah.
Watch What Crappens has really taken off.
it's huge.
They're huge. Why aren't we getting them to do something to promote our products? Because I really helped them really helped them in the beginning.
I think they do promote
They
because
do
every once in a while
promote
we
it,
get
but
it.
We have to
Something
ask
from-
them
yeah.
once in a while, Jason. We need to ask them once in a while to do a giveaway, like once a month or something.
They did do it last
Well, we need to do it again because they have a bigger audience than Bravo.
They have million. They do have a bigger audience than Bravo.
Oh my God! So they do. So listen, Bravo made a mistake not putting them on.
That
there
is the biggest
when
mistake
put
they
those three
ever
guys on
did.
there
Exactly.
Because they have a bigger.
They had a built-in
following.
audience that would
And
already
all
happen.
they do is satire on the Bravo shows.
Yep.
I mean, it would have been good. So listen to this. So yesterday, I go with my friend whose brother is the mayor of Coral Gables, and he's going to run for city commission. And we go to lunch at Abbracci because RJ had an Italian lesson upstairs at Abbracci at the Italian consulate an hour later. So we ran over there. You know, I never go to lunch. Never, ever, ever, ever. But I had to drop RJ for the consulate. I said, okay, I'll let you eat at Abbracci. So then I thought, well, if I'm going to Abbracci, I'll just tell my friend Jose to meet me there because I always love talking to him. He's real smart. He knows about politics. He's just fun. So we meet there for an hour, and then I drop RJ off, and that's when I ran and got all that stuff at the Big Dot for him for RJ's room. So while I'm there, guess who walks in? Rick Scott, the former crooked governor, alleged. Of course, there was a lot of evidence. Who's now a senator who sucks up to Trump all day. He walked across the room to go to the restroom. A couple of people walked over and shook his hand. I was about to vomit. I was like, people should be hissing him. So he was sitting by the door. So I was on my way out. I was going to go up and I was going to say, you are horrible. Get back to Washington, D.C. and kiss Trump's ass because the two of you are two peas in a pod. I mean, I would have said something. You know I would have.
I know you would have.
But I turned around and he was gone. So then I went over to this corner where he was sitting, and there was everyone was sitting around, tables and everything. I said, you guys better get out the Lysol and Lysol that counter. And you know what? 2 tables started clapping. See, I was right. Turns out one of the guys sitting there was Jose's brother, the mayor. I didn't even know he was there. But 2 of the tables started clapping. I was like, I'm telling you, these people have to be publicly shamed and hissed if they're enabling Trump right now. Oh my God, it's just too much. And then today, when I'm walking in, you know the guys that run the valet and the building maintenance, so they like Trump.
Right.
But they don't watch anything but Fox. They have never watched anything outside of Fox. So they know how I feel. So today when I saw them, they gave me a kiss and everything, and they were walking past, and I said, oh, that Trump, he's getting worse by the day. Do you know what they said?
What?
Isn't it great? He's kicking ass. I mean, I can't believe what's wrong with people. He's destroyed the Justice Department, the State Department, our allies. What is wrong with people? He's running up a deficit of $1 trillion a year. How can anybody support that? I mean, he's not a Republican; he's a Trumpian. I mean, I just can't anymore.
Yeah, that's what that governor that he pardoned last night that was on The Apprentice, the former governor of Illinois that tried to sell Barack Obama's seat.
guy.
Yeah,
the
he
Craig
said
Bro.
he said the same thing this morning.
Yeah.
If anybody asks me what affiliation I'm with, I'm a Trumpian.
Or whatever he named it. Yeah, he called it some Trumpocrat or Trumpocrat.
Trumpocrat, yeah.
Yeah, but you know, it's so funny. Trump's pardoning all these people that are pretty much accused of the same crimes he's being accused of.
Birds of a feather.
Yeah, he's like setting the, you know, like some of them are already out of jail, like Milken. Well, you know, Milken did all that shady stuff, but Trump's getting, even if they're already out of jail, if they're doing the same kind of crimes that Trump does, he's letting them out. And then if they're doing crimes that he has been accused of and are still in jail, he's letting them out. It's like he wants to normalize his crime thing so that he can try to pardon himself when he gets kicked out of the office.
You know, that's his pattern. Like, if you go and study like what he does, he always does something like 4 or 5 days before he does a bigger thing because he tries to normalize what he's getting ready to do. So this whole thing this week is in preparation for him to get ready to pardon Manafort and Stone. And by the way, if anyone missed John Oliver on Last Week Tonight with HBO, he was scandalous. Said he looked like the guy from Dick Tracy, and when you looked at his desk calendar, it said "Frame Roger Rabbit." That's the only meeting he had. It was
but
hilarious.
Honestly, you should look up the link. But seriously, it's just out of control now. It's just out of control. And now, what he does every time the Democrats have a primary election or caucus, he flies into
that city
and does it in the same area so that they block off all the streets to suppress the votes, to make it hard for people to get to vote at the voting places. I mean, he really is just a common thug. I mean, let's just call it what it is. So last night, I'm minding my own business, and James sends me this text about the Fisher Island ferry. So I couldn't believe it. So what happened, when you get on the ferry, they put one car at a time, and they start lining you in the front row, the front row, the front row. Well, normally the equity members are always on first. So, because I used to be an equity member and I was always on first, meaning you're on the front row. And the center front row isn't really protected with the ferry metal. It's protected with a bar or a rope. So it turns out that a car was missing. They had divers in the water, and no one could quite get the information. Well, after hours, it determines that the car did go off the front center part of the ferry, had 2 women in it, which James texted me in the middle of the night about the 2 women, because I was following on the news. I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
It turns out that today I texted Charlie Crist, the governor, and is now the House of Representatives.
Right.
I texted her and said, you know, Carol, it just came to me. I know you're living on Fisher Island. I'm just hoping you're okay. She texted me back. You're not going to believe who was on the ferry.
Who was it?
Carol was married to Todd Rome.
Right.
Before she was married to Charlie Crist, the governor.
Right.
Todd Rome's mother and a friend of hers were in that car.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding.
Do you know Todd Rome?
I know who they are.
I don't know him. The names.
Because Marianne used to hang out with them a lot.
But I mean, I said, I don't know Todd. I don't know if I've ever met him. So apparently it was his mother and her friend.
Oh, that's awful.
And so I said, well, listen. So what happens when you're in the front? They put these blocks, metal or something, underneath your tires. Yep. You're supposed to cut your car off and put it in park. So either they didn't cut their car off and put it in park, which usually the ferry attendant will come over and say something. You have to have your lights off too. Yeah. Or they didn't put those things there, or the woman accidentally hit the gas. Something happened. She said they're still investigating it. It broke through that barrier. And if you go in front of the ferry, even though the ferry only goes about, I guess, 10 knots an hour or something, it's slow. It's only a 3-minute, 4-minute drive.
It's not real much.
I'm sure the ferry just ran right over it and pushed it down.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, if it fell off the front and the trajectory was going towards the island, then it would have hit the thing. They said they were 40 feet underwater.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, because, you know, that's real deep there because all the cruise ships go about that. And the cruise ships are usually 20 feet under. So they said that they found them in an area that was about 30 to 40 feet.
Fisher Island is one of the richest communities in the world, and it's a limited amount of housing. It's $25,000 a year for a membership, just an annual membership. It's almost $200,000 for an equity membership. And the equity membership is then $25,000 a year, and then on top of that, you have to spend a certain amount of money every quarter.
$5,000 every 3 months.
And the FICA, which is the ferry price, and the other price, that's like on the condo I owned over there. It ran $21,000 a year. Yep. So to live over there is not cheap. So I bought a condo over there because RJ went to school beginning the pre-K through the 6th grade at the Fisher Island Day School. And the reason I sent him there, it was multicultural. They had the little Chinese kids, they had the Japanese kids, they had, the Russian kids, the Ukrainian kids. It was so so many languages, and the culture was rich. And then they also had the organic chef that cooked for them every day, and it was a safe, secure little neighborhood. So when he was in preschool, I took him over there, and we had to be to school at 8 or 8:30 every day. Can you imagine? I got up early. I drove him all the way over there, went and did the ring around with the parents in the circle with the kids singing the tunes. Then I took a nap in my car under a tree to drive home. So after about a year of that, I was like, I can't. I bought a condo over there, and I thought it'd be an investment. It turned out I did do well on it, but we never stayed over there. So I finally sold it because Roy wouldn't stay over there. He's so picky. So I made that trip 45 minutes in the morning and 45 minutes back, and 45 minutes in the afternoon and 45 minutes back every year from preschool to the 6th through the 5th grade, except for the 2 or 3 years we owned the condo. And even then, I didn't stay in the condo because there's not a lot to do unless you want to go swimming, go to lunch, and play tennis over there. And so I pretty much left. But this is what I did, and everyone made fun of me. Everyone laughed. The kid, all the parents, everyone made fun of me. When we got in the car, we rolled all 4 windows down and made sure all the doors were unlocked, and I had unstrapped RJ from his car seat. And I put those little floaters on his arms.
Right.
And I had a life jacket in the front seat for myself. And I trained him, if anything happened, you go through the window and a mom will meet you at the top. And everyone, when they get in my car and they would see my life jacket and those floaties, they would laugh hysterical. They said, oh my God, you're hilarious. I'm like, this isn't funny to me. And I didn't let anyone else drive RJ to Fisher Island until he was in the 3rd grade. By the 3rd grade, when he could swim and he knew the drill, I let Paul take him once in a while. Because I always felt like, even though there had only been one accident that I know of, I think a ferry hit another ferry or a boat or something. When you're on a ferry like that and you're in your car, anything could happen. Anything could happen. A cruise ship could hit you, another ferry could hit you. Who knows? So I was always prepared for that, and everyone thought that was the dumbest thing they'd ever heard of. And when that happened, I thought, you know what? I wasn't so dumb after all. It really wasn't.
No, not at all.
And when when Roy Jr. got into the 1st grade, and I bought the bigger car, which held 6 kids in the back. Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids in the back and 1 in the front. I got 6 life jackets and put them in the car for all the kids. And when they would get in my car, they would laugh. Oh my God, what is this about? And they thought it was so funny. Of course, that's back when they were little, and I had the videotape when RJ thought the only videos that you could play were Chinese because the machine was made in China. And that's when I got busted. One of his friends popped in, Crocodile 1D one day, and RJ goes, Mom, it works on English-speaking videos. So that was the end of that. But anyway, I pulled it off for quite a while.
That's funny.
But it's so sad that happened.
Apparently, it's Fran says it was Emma, Afra, and Vivian Brahms, and they used to own Red Zone nightclub in the late 80s in New York.
Fran Borough said that?
Yes.
Now say it again. Read it to me again.
Emma, Afra, and Vivian Brahms. And,
Vivian Brahms and
and Emma, Afra, A-F-R-A.
Okay.
And she says they owned Red Zone nightclub late 80s in New York. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez, it's just horrible.
I know, it's awful.
I think about, when you're on Fisher Island, you know everybody, and everybody knows you, because there's only 1,000 residents over there at the most.
At the most.
And that's at the height of the season, and usually there's like 200 residents over there.
Right.
So I'm sure that's just going to be the most talked about tragic thing that ever happened.
I told you, I had a friend over there, so we used to go over there a lot, and I have a small car, and it used to bounce on the thing, and I used to always make them do it. Like the first time we ever hit a wave and it kind of bounced like that, it scared me, and I was like, very cautious from then on. But I was the same way with you. I would make sure the doors were unlocked. I wasn't strapped in, so that if it happened, I could get out.
They get complacent. When you're on it all the time, you just you get very relaxed about it, and that could be one of the things that contributed.
Oh, for sure.
Because you get relaxed. You don't put the car in park. You don't put the brake on. You get complacent. On the other hand, the ferry attendants somehow might not have blocked those wheels.
Well, I've always wondered why they only have like that blue tarp thing in the front. They don't have like a gate.
Yes.
It's not a gate.
No, it's a tarp.
It's a tarp.
But I think there's a chain across the tarp.
There is a chain, but it's just a chain.
Yeah. But they put those blockers, in front of the tires. But that is the most tragic thing. I just can't.
So
Meanwhile, and plus, if you're living over there, you've got a great life. So I hate to see things happen to people that have just like a great life, like the mean people, the nasty people don't care about anybody. That's another story, if you're like a murderer. But if you're a nice person, you're doing good, and you've worked your whole life, and you've got a great lifestyle over there, and something like that happens, it's
really bad.
So, customers' testimonial, then we can take our break. I talked all the time. I don't even need to do anything anymore. I just talk. Hi, from Andrea Lynn, 1029. Hi, Leah, I love your products. Tonight I stopped to buy a Powerball ticket. Well, let's share. The young cashier asked me for my ID, scanned it, and said, oh, wow, you're a lot older than I thought. If somebody said that to me, I'd be like, what? I laughed and said, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. She then tried to apologize, and I grabbed her hand and said, no, it is a compliment. It's thank you to my Leah Black skincare. It is working. The Sun Youth Facial and Daily CBD Eye Cream are working. After constant tanning from high school, college, eczema, and a lack of sleep due to a sick toddler, I still got carded. Thank you. Oh, it's a great story.
That's wonderful.
That's funny. That's like me walking up to the woman at the doctor's office one time and saying, when's your baby due? And she said, my baby's a year old.
Oh, my God. You should never see that.
And the woman worked there. I was like, oh, shit.
We have Aaron JT, and he is 28 years old, and he has never had a skincare routine. And he said, I only have oily skin and bad acne scars. What products of yours would you recommend? I want to purchase, but I don't know where to start.
Okay, he has acne and...
He's 28. He says he's never had a skincare routine, and he has acne.
Okay, I would use the exfoliant every other day. First, wash your face really good 2 to 3 times a day. Use the exfoliant every other day in the shower in upward and outward strokes. It's a gentle exfoliant. And make sure you're using the moisture cream or the serum or both. And sometimes the mask will make your skin a little worse in the beginning because it pulls everything to the surface. But if you stick with it, eventually it'll help clear it up.
Yeah, usually like the first time you ever use it, because it's it's
like a vacuum cleaner.
It is. It's like super glue pulling it out, and it really works. So the first time you I would say like that's not like your weekend mask. That might be like the Sunday night mask that you put on, and then once you've done it once or twice, they build on each other, and so make sure you try those.
Once it cleans it out, if you keep it clean, your skin, because what happens too, what I realized with the little boy that in RJ's room. He thought his skin was oily, and he even had these dehumidifying bags in the room because he thought it was the moisture. And I said, listen, moisturizer is good. The moisture in Miami is good for your skin. It's not that. And then I realized, he said, I've never used moisture lotion before, and I think it made a difference. And I said, this is the story. People think that their skin is breaking out, so they try to dry it out. And the truth is, if you don't moisturize it, your oil glands overproduce to try to make up for it, and it causes the blemishes. So you've got to clean and moisturize, and then that's why I'm getting the oil, because even if you use the oil at night, or even if you use it 3 or 4 times a week, your skin needs oil and moisture. So there's that.
All right, and then you can use the podcast code Aaron, and you can get 50% off the CBD products and the Sun Youth mask as well on leahblack.com. And now we are going to take a 5-second break for our commercial advertisers on the podcast. And we're back.
Okay. Ask me anything from social media. Braxton4509. Are you still working on lip care? That's what the oil is going to do. The oil is going to help get rid of those little tiny fine lines around your mouth. I notice people that smoke always have them, but if you use a straw a lot, and a lot of people use a straw to avoid getting iced tea and coffee staining their teeth, that you have those little, people have those lines.
I don't smoke, and I have those little lines.
But if you use it, you get them.
Yep.
Of another box official. Hi, Leah, I love you. Oh, thank you. Mr. Pop official. Nice Instagram profile. I have an Instagram profile.
Yeah, they were looking at your Instagram profile and said that they liked it. All the stuff we were posting and everything.
Oh my gosh.
They just sent you a direct message.
Oh, thank you so much. Alan Rothschild, just a note to thank you and James for making me laugh and think. Oh my God. Oh, by the way, Andrew Yang, Make America Think Again.
Yes.
They've signed him up as a commentator on CNN now. He's going to be commentating the debates.
Good.
I am so happy for him. I find him to be such a joyful little spirit, you know, and his wife, they're just such a lovely family, and they've embraced their son with the autism and tried to help other people with it. And they're just such a cute little family, and he's going to go big places. But yeah, he's going to be a CNN commentator. I was so happy to hear that because I always just adored him. I don't necessarily think that the world is ready yet for some of his super progressive ideas. But if I were president, I'd put him in charge of all the technology and the cybersecurity because I think he's a little genius on all that. And anything doing with math, he's cute. When he dropped out, he said, you know, I'm the math guy and the numbers aren't adding up and I don't want to take your money anymore if I can't win. I thought that was lovely. God bless him. Okay.
The discount code is podcast. Some of the people were asking. They said they missed it here. Lori, that is the podcast is the code. You can use it on leahblack.com.
All right, so Nate live at 43. We're running out of time. I'm going to save that one for next week, Nate, because it's so long. John Fried, but I will do it. John Friedman. Hi, Leah. On a previous podcast, you mentioned about buying emergency food. I'm considering doing the same. I'm wondering what brand you purchased. What was the name of that brand? I just sent you a picture.
Wise.
WISE. I think it is. But I just sent James a picture of it because someone wanted to know.
It's called Wise Company.
WISE, Wise Company. Yeah, they have everything in there. I when I took the picture, they had stroganoff, they had potatoes, they had the rice, they had the beans, they had all this stuff. I have enough for 4 people to have like 4 months here, or something like that, or 3 or 4 people 6 months or whatever. And I have the same thing in LA. And I told Brendan, you know, listen, if anything happens, go get in my cupboards because I'm not there. Brendan weighs a pound, so it lasts him a year.
He split an M&M.
John Freeman. Oh, that was that one. Tiffany H. Hi, Leah. Would you share some photos of RJ's organized room? Yeah, I will send James a photo. I don't know how you're going to post it because you can't just have one. The room's so little, you got to have 2 or 3. You have to make a little
She's been
collage.
reaching out to you on direct message, so if you send it to me, I'll forward the photo to her.
Okay, good. I'll send you some. Mindfulness and minimalism. What do you recommend for being smart with money? Well, let me think about that.
Marry rich.
Smart with money. What do you recommend for being smart with money? I guess you're saying if you have money, how to be smart with it. Well, save, and don't invest in any of these schemes. And don't spend frivolously. Don't go out and spend $50,000 a month on stupid clothes and shoes. If you're going to buy anything fabulous, buy things like diamonds that maintain their value. That for sure. And don't listen to these scammers. You need to get with a trusted JP Morgan investment management company if you want to invest your money. Don't get these individuals out there. I mean, some of them may be great, but I'm not smart enough to tell, so I stick with the ones that are vetted and have huge clients. Kensington Moore. Hi, Leah. Love the podcast. Thank you, Jonathan Travis. How do you feel about the way Jeff treats people? Oh my God, that's a good question. That's a funny question. You know, Jeff pops off and then he calms down. That's why I had that show called Flipping Out. He has a big heart. Jeff has a really big heart. And once he pops off, he calms down, and then they usually make amends. But it's just, I don't know, you push his button and he's going to react. I mean, is it always becoming? No, but it's entertaining. And he's not a bad guy. He's not vindictive. He's not going to go out of his way to hurt you. He'll kind of treat you the way you treat him. But if he feels you're taking advantage and it piles up and piles up and piles up, or he feels like you've wronged him and it piles up and piles up, or you haven't been honest and it piles up and piles up, the lid will explode at some point.
Yeah. Jeffrey's coming out.
Yeah, Jeffrey's coming out. And so far, I have not gotten the wrath. Well, actually, let me think. No, I really haven't. I have had a couple of spats with him, but I don't let him off the hook. I just work through it. I say, you're not getting off that easy, and we work through it.
Nicole Kendall says, I love Jeff's personality.
I love him, yeah. Lynn, and you know, it's sad Jenny never got back with him. He reached out and she didn't get back with him. And it's very sad. She said it was because she was embarrassed. Well, he did embarrass her on the show with that whole I'm going to be an actress Meryl Streep thing, and that's why, you know, you've helped me back. And then she quits, and then she did, you know. But on the other hand, I think it was just taken a little out of context. I think, you know, it was just, it was misconstrued and misunderstood. And I didn't know she had been an actress, and she did want to be an actress. I didn't really know that. I knew about the rapping thing, and I think he shouldn't have called her a liar. And there are a lot of mistakes that he made, but. But she's not going to let it go, I guess. And I love Jenny. I always adored her. I adored her kids. I adored her husband. But obviously she's not happy with me because I tried to get her new mailing address to send the kids a gingerbread house for Christmas, and she didn't send it. So I guess she didn't like me either. Lon Drawn, are you and Jeff okay? Yes. I'm going to be on a show again as soon as I can fly out there. I got worried about Roy having the surgery, then I had the flu, then my back was out, then I got RJ in the room, and that was going to go out there, and then I had to cancel, and now I've got the virus.
Coronavirus.
So now I'll have to go, but I will be the next time.
People are really wondering when you're coming out there again, because you've been getting a lot of comments on social media the last couple weeks.
If he goes to New York, he might go to New York. If he does, I told him I could fly up there and do the show for sure, and that would be in March. In fact, I'm going to text him again about that. It's Bravo Betch Podcast. Leah. Oh, that's a cute name, Bravo, B-E-T-C-H. When are we going to have lunch together? I'd love to get together when you're in L.A., maybe do my podcast. Well, when you find out I'm in L.A., then email us at hello@leahblack, and then I'll see what we can do. Okay, then in the meantime, if you want to order anything, don't forget, use PODCAST to get 50% off the CBD products, the Sudden Youth Lift, which is 8 to 10 mask, and that's the lift, tones, firms, sloughs off the cells, and helps clean out the pores. And, of course, the eye cream, the CBD serum, and the CBD moisturizer. That eye cream is a miracle. It's a miracle. And free shipping over $50, and hello@leahblack.com. And we are going to take all our testimonials and put them in a pot and have a drawing for a free product or free something. So don't forget to send in your comments and testimonials.
Yes, that's great.
Okay. And celebrity news. Bezos is giving $10 billion to fight climate change. That's 7.7% of his net worth. I think it's remarkable, and God bless him, and it's great that he's doing it. But for really, with somebody with that much money, I mean, that's like me giving $1,000. But God bless him. Say thank you.
Yes.
We're grateful. But my hope is when he gets in it, and he sees the difference, and this is probably what his thinking is, because that's what I would probably do too. I would test to see if I could get measurable results out of the money, and then I would go all in.
I think that's what he's doing.
Probably what he's going to do.
Yeah, it's his own personal, and it's not like the company's money. So he's probably looking at to see how, what kind of impact that makes, and then if he can add more to it, that would probably be it. He also bought the most expensive home in Los Angeles last week, $169 million.
I think we talked about that on the podcast, how many rooms and elevators and everything.
Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne canceled his tour due to health, and he was very sweet about it. He's a nut job, though. He gives all these reasons why he doesn't want to start the tour and then have to stop the tour in the middle because he has these health problems. He's diagnosed with Parkinson's. He's trying to get it all under control and then reschedule his tour. Chef John, remember Chef John? That runs around and feeds all the homeless and the hurricanes and all that. No, Chef Jose.
Yeah, Chef Jose.
He had a T-shirt on the other day, and on the back of it, it read, 70% of U.S. farmers are immigrants, half are undocumented, and if you build a wall, you're going to break our food system. And then they had a big documentary on it the other day, too, on one of the networks about if we didn't have the immigrants, it would literally just be devastating for our food system because we rely on them, to pick the crops, pick the corn, pick the strawberries. They do all of that, and God bless them. They should make more money for doing it. That's a very hard job.
It's hard work.
Then Wendy Williams has been in hot water 2 or 3 times lately.
She cannot. She is like the Forrest Gump of right now. She is like stepping in it every 5 minutes.
But I've never been a huge fan of hers because I always felt like that she was leading this hypocritical double life while she was criticizing everybody else's life, and I didn't like that.
Yeah.
But she is entertaining. I mean, she was fun to watch. And then Drew Carey's ex-girlfriend, I forget her name. Anyway, her ex-boyfriend, got in a fight with her, and she fell off a balcony and died.
Yes.
And so one of the things that Wendy got in trouble for was she kind of made a light of it, a joke about it, like, well, he fell for that or something like that. But that was after getting into after saying something about gays that got her into hot water. You have to be careful these days. Oh my God, I open my big mouth all the time.
We have a question here. Tracy Jenkins Limpke asks, Andy Cohen said that he had a melanoma removed, and I personally have been fighting it for 20 years. Do you think he'd join me in helping and raise awareness? I have asked many of the people in the celebrity world, and no one seems to respond to me. Thanks.
They're never going to respond to you. They don't respond. Do I think he would help you? I don't. I think that if you knew him personally, he probably would. But I think just to reach out, he probably gets 1,000 of those requests a day. So no, I don't think he would. Not to criticize him. I just think he gets 1,000 requests a day, and you got to pick and choose. So he's going to do it for somebody that he's friendly with, that has another cause. There's so many causes.
But we'll mention it here and tell everyone that they need to be careful and make sure they use sunscreen and protect themselves from the sun.
And go get little things, any little marks you see in your body that change. You got to run right to go to the doctor and get them checked. It's so simple to check.
Yeah, they freeze it right off. It's
and
super quick.
If you need to take it off, they freeze it off. It's 1 second. But they check the light, can tell you if it's anything to it. But you should check. Bill Maher on Valentine's night said that on his Valentine's, the week before Valentine's, he made the comment. I thought it was so funny. He goes, here, this Valentine's week, every couple must ask themselves, do you have an unhealthy relationship with technology, ? When you wake up in the morning, do you turn over towards your partner, or do you turn over towards your nightstand and your cell phone? I was like, guilty.
Guilty as charged.
That's the first thing people do. They go turn it on, see what time it is, and they start checking to see what they missed over the night. It's hilarious.
If I looked over and someone was in my bed with me, I would have to call 911. So I should probably grab the phone first.
Grab the phone first. So Colin Kaepernick, Take a Knee, is going to write a book of his memoirs telling stories about led him to protest the systematic oppression. I'm going to buy that book. Everybody's going to buy that book. I love him. Even after he was fired, he gave $1 million to help kids. He's a good guy, and I'm so annoyed with the NFL that they basically blacklisted him because he's a super talented guy. And you know what, San Francisco? If you would have had him on your team, you just might have won. So there's that karma. So we'll buy that book. Jeff Bezos, when I said, didn't we do that on the podcast, it's because I had written notes on it for this week's podcast. The Beverly Hills Mansion, it's got 3 houses on the property, 2 guest houses and a main house, a 9-hole golf course, a tennis court, a motor court with gas pumps. Oh my God!
It's basically mansions. Fisher Island with one house.
Yeah, and he made $13 billion. $13 billion last year. He paid 1.2% in taxes. He made more than $13 billion. That can't be right.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's worth about, I forget, $160 million.
Yep.
And he cut the whole food benefits for his part-time employees. That makes me mad. I'm glad he's in a mansion. I'm glad he built an empire. I'm glad he's giving to the climate. But take care of the employees that are working part-time. He cut their benefits. Why are you doing that? It doesn't make a dent in your life. In fact, I think it's probably tax deductible. You're not paying any taxes anyway. Why are people so greedy? I don't even know if it's greedy or they resent people that don't have big jobs because they think they didn't work hard enough or study hard enough, or if they just think they don't deserve it. I just don't know. What is that? It's just crazy. I mean, I don't think money changes you. I think it makes you more of who you are. Like if I was a multi-billionaire, I'd be giving everybody I know money and helping every cause that I could think of, and I'd like put it to good use. But and like I do with what means I have now. But these billionaires, you can tell you can tell what people's priorities are by what they spend their money on. That's simple. What you can tell by what they spend their money and their time on, what their priorities are. Basically, I'm spending all my time getting Trump out of office, by the way, donating to all these candidates. Jussie Smollett is facing, remember from Empire, 6 felony counts for lying to the law enforcement for the fake homophobic attack on him last year. Don't worry, Jussie, if you'll be a Trumper, he'll pardon you. But remember what happened? They dropped the charges, and then somebody made a big fuss about it because they felt like it was an inside job. It was because he was connected or he had something or whatever. So there you have that.
Yeah.
At the Oscars, Oh, I forgot to mention when we talked about the Oscars last week, one of Brad Pitt's lines that I thought was great, I forgot to mention. In addition to taking the one from when he won the BAFTA, taking Harry to the U.S. But they told me I only had 45 seconds up here, and that's 45 seconds more than the Senate gave John Bolton this week.
Yeah, that's what
I liked
he said.
That line. And the other thing I forgot to mention from the Oscars, I was going back through my notes, Joaquin Phillips, when he got his Oscar, he said, when my brother was 17, that was his brother River Phoenix, had overdosed in front of the whiskey room. I think it was a whiskey room in West Hollywood, Sunset Boulevard. When my brother was 17, my brother wrote this lyric. He said, run to the rescue with love and peace. Run to the rescue with love and peace will follow. I thought that was a sweet tribute to his brother.
It was.
And that had to be, let's see, what, 30 years ago?
Oh yeah, I was in high school when he died. I think I want to say it was. I want to say it was.
God, the time
like
just goes by.
16 or 17, maybe 18. But I was in high school.
It's so sad. The poor little. Oh, it's so sad. You know, that's why those what are those Naxoline pens that you, when people have drug overdose, what do they call? Narco pens or whatever they're called, and you get them at the drugstore. They're $30 or $40. Jackie Siegel, the Queen of Versailles, told us about it because she said once her daughter died from that overdose, her and her husband have just spent tons of time and money educating people and getting kids to carry these in their pocket. Now, I know this sounds paranoid and crazy too, but in Roy Jr.'s room, he has two fire extinguishers, one on each side of the room, and one for him and one for his roommate. And he has one of those plastic covers that if someone goes into shock that you put on them to keep them from completely going to shock, keep their body warm till the cops get there. And now I'm going to get one of those pens and put it in his room too. And I'm going to put one in my car because you'd be surprised. Like Bethany Frankel's boyfriend, the secretary was on her way to the drugstore to get one of those pens. If they would have had one in the house, he'd still probably be alive. So everyone should, if you're around, look, for us and the people I know, it wouldn't be someone that's close to me because they don't do the drugs, but it'd be just a stranger that would have a seizure or start.
You never know.
And you just want to have it available, you know, so there's that.
I want to just bring up, Tracy wrote back here, the lady that was talking about the cancer a minute ago, and we just want to wish her well because she's struggling. She's got it, and it's actually metastasized. So.
What? I thought she just had it removed.
So we just want to make sure. It says, no, I'm in stage 4, and she says it's in my organs now. It's a cancer just like every other cancer.
So it was melanoma?
Yeah, so we just want to wish her well, and you're in our thoughts and our prayers, and we will certainly
listen, I just read, Tracy, I'm going to see if I can find it for you here, an article that just came out, and I sent it to my friend Ida in LA, who's in remission right now. She was stage 4. She's in remission now for like 4 or 5 years. There was a new drug that just came out that they stumbled upon that treats cancer that's metastasized.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find that. I thought I sent it to her. But don't give up hope because there are all kinds of things right now that are, oh my God, I don't know if I had it.
We know that she's always tunes in every week and she's also a customer and everything. So we just want to make sure and wish the best for her because we did not know that was her current situation.
Okay, here it is. The big news of the day. Immune cells, which kill most cancers, were recently discovered by accident by British scientists. And that article, and you can find it, is on telegraph.co.uk. Yeah, I made light of it. I thought she had, one of those carcinoma things burned off.
What's the name of the article?
Telegraph, telegraph.co.uk.
Right.
And I don't know the name of the article, but I'm sure you can find it. British scientists found a major breakthrough accidentally by discovering an immune cell which kills most cancers. So I would check that out. It's a new thing. They may probably, if it's new, they're probably looking for people to do test studies on it or something. I'm so sorry to hear that.
She says we've brought her to tears. Well, we don't want you to cry, but we thank you. She says she's on immunotherapy and that she's going to win. So we know you're going to win, and we're just here to support you.
Yeah, the other thing is, the main thing you can do is build your immune system. Try to figure out, and what is that protein powder that guy gave us that is, I'm going to get the name of it for you. I have it at home. It's designed for people that are on chemotherapy to boost their immune system. Now, RJ and I were drinking it for a while. I'm going to start back on it because you don't have to be on chemotherapy to boost your immune system. But it's designed for people on chemotherapy. It tastes really good. I think it comes in a couple of flavors, and you can put it with water or almond milk. But you got to boost your immune system too. I'm going to look for the picture of that and send it to James. He can send it to you. In royal news. The Sussex Royal. I've read some.
Today, the Queen made them. They are not allowed to use that for their branding.
That was So, when the Sussex Royal said, I've read some that some think that Meghan and Harry, some think that Meghan is making Harry leave the royal family.
Yeah.
And
of course
here's
they're going to blame
facts.
her.
They're blaming her. Here's just one example. In 2004, Princess Michael told black people in a restaurant to go back to their colonies. This is a Princess Michael, royal family. Then she named her two black sheep, Serena and Venus. And in 2017, she attended a Christmas lunch knowing that Meghan was going to be invited with a black Paramore pen. And I'm so glad I never bought one of those black Paramore pens. I never thought of them as being racist, and I still don't think they are. I think it's historical. Actually, they were aristocratic, but I do think that if you're that racist and you're wearing it, you're sending a signal. Yeah,
for sure.
And now they spent years putting the Sussex Royal trademarks on every category, and now they can't use it anymore.
They've built a whole website. They have 11 million followers on their Instagram profile now, and everything, and they have to change it.
You know what? That Instagram, people are going to follow them wherever they go,
exactly.
and they'll just rebrand themselves as something else. But it's. I don't really blame the Queen because you really can't let the royal family go out and start exploiting the royal name because then it diminishes it. But on the other hand, I feel like they were forced out. I don't think they wanted to leave. I think the way they were treated by the press,
Yes.
By the way, speaking of the climate, it's going down. 300 flood warnings in the UK. And of course, it's Louisiana's underwater again. I can't take it anymore. Yep. I love this. An Alabama lawmaker introduced legislation in Alabama saying that all men after having 3 children have to have a vasectomy. And of course, Ted Cruz is screaming about it. Well, honey, if you want to control women's bodies, then let's just start controlling men's bodies too. Yeah. That's how I feel about it. Yeah. No, I don't think you should do either. I think you should let women do what they want with their bodies and men do what they want, but let's be fair and be equal. A Michigan woman, oh my God, Jeff complains about my dog going with me. A Michigan woman went on the plane with her service horse, a miniature horse, went into first. Can you imagine? Did it go off?
It went off for a second.
So she went on the plane with a horse, a miniature horse, as a service pet. Can you imagine? I take the 4-pound one on there, and I'm nervous they're going to say something. Oh my God, it's just too much. And it was real cute. The picture was dressed, in a little Tiffany blue outfit. It looked really cute. Apparently, as of 2 or 3 days ago, 72,528 infections of the coronavirus in 1870 are dead. That is just crazy. Horrible.
We had someone that's watching. They had a question. They wanted to ask you about, her name is Lori Consino, and she says, Leah, I just want your opinion on this. Don't you think Bravo should do a Real Housewives show that's real housewives? I mean, people that are married, that have working kids and families, and the real issues that they encounter every day. I keep emailing Andy about this, but I hear nothing. I think we should do it in Tampa with me and my girls. Love you, Leah. What do you think?
I think they should do a reality show that's real, and I think that if it's real and it's organic and it's authentic, then yes, having the kids, being married, and being Real Housewives is perfect. But if it's not, call it the Real Singles fake reality show. But yeah, I think the whole key to the reality shows is when they get raw, and that's one of the reasons New Jersey was so good, because they had the daughters in there, and then the other one has her 2 kids, and they all had, and it was like real life stuff, and that's why that one resonated, I think. And some of the other ones, I think they don't resonate as much because they're not real life. Whether you have the kids or you don't have the kids, or whether you're married or divorced or getting married, as long as it's real, I think it resonates. When it's fake and that's what happened on our show. One of the girls was constantly having little meetings. They were plotting who was going to say what and how they were going to bring me down. And, every time I did something, one of them were supposed to jump in and attack me. And they had this whole little plot and scheme. And, nobody wants to watch a bunch of hate club trying to bring down somebody. I mean, especially somebody like me. What do I care? I mean, I wished all of them well. I had all these ideas to help every one of them brand themselves and make money and sell their stuff. But no, they're over there being petty because, they think they have to hold on to that fame, be the biggest one, get the most attention. It's like, oh my God, just spare me. 2,153 of the richest people on earth have as much wealth as 4.6 billion people, which is 60% of the world's population. So can you believe that? I mean, 2,000 people have as much worth as 60,000 people. I mean, 60% of the people in the world. I'm not a socialist, but I do think you have to spread the wealth around. I mean, when you've been given a lot, you have to give a lot. I mean, I just can't believe. Yep. Okay, so we're going to have to pass on all this if we're going to do any politics at all. I'm going to have next week's show is already written. I can't keep up. I need 2 hours, but I don't want to do that either. There's a bunch of Florida stuff weird that happened this week, a bunch of gun stuff that's happened, more Florida stuff, more gun stuff. Well, let me do this one. Leah's life lesson. Don't let life get in the way. And what I mean by don't let life get in the way is, you start majoring in minor events and you never get anything done and you never have any fun. So, Trump's revenge. He fired another one today, or asked him to resign from one of the guys that disagreed with him holding back the money in the State Department that kept alerting him that he thought it might not be legal and he needed to let that money get over to the Ukraine. He asked him to leave. And then there's a book that you've got to all go buy. It just came out today. Dark Towers. It's the Dutch bank scandal and where all the money, when no bank in the world would loan Trump money, the Dutch bank would. And when no banks wanted to take money from Russia because they want to be accused of money laundering, the Dutch bank would. So let's see if now wasn't it strange that several people from the Dutch bank have died accidentally? Isn't it strange that Justice, what's his name before, the one that resigned at the peak of his life and career at 60-something years old, son was head of loaning these bank money out at the Dutch bank and he mysteriously resigned and that's how Richest got that seat? Isn't it strange that Trump has all those Russians buying his property with money that came out of the Dutch bank and that the Dutch bank loaned him millions and billions of dollars? What?
And while we're on it, Assange's lawyer claims Trump offered him a pardon if he said the Russians didn't play a part in the DNC emails leak. So that's breaking right now.
Whose son?
Assange, the guy that was
Assange.
His lawyer is saying that Trump offered them a pardon if he said the Russians didn't play a role in the DNC email leak.
Julian Assange?
His attorney is saying that Trump offered
Trump's attorney's son a pardon.
No,
I mean the attorney's son, Assange's attorney's son.
Offered Assange a pardon.
Oh.
Yes, that's what they're saying. So his attorney is saying that.
I reported, and I told David Corn about this months back, that there was a plot to try to get Assange to come here and say that Russia wasn't behind it.
That's what's breaking right now.
It didn't happen. And when I reported it, David Corn researched it, and he didn't find anything. That's a political reporter. He's an investigative reporter for, I forget the name of the thing, Daily Beast or whatever. Anyway, so now it turns out that they will offer Assange a pardon, meaning that they will deport him to the U.S. and let him live his life free if he will just say that Trump didn't have anything to do,
or that the Russians didn't have anything to do with the DNC leaks. Yes. It's breaking right now.
I mean, every day the reality show. I did that one. I had heard but I couldn't prove it. And I told David Corn about it, and I said you should investigate it. But he never came up with anything.
They're saying on here they remember you saying that on the show a few weeks ago.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I'm telling you. See, you hear it here first. Breaking news: TMZ has nothing on me.
Carol Alderette says you need to be on Monday and Friday.
Yeah, that should be my new tagline. TMZ
Monday to
has
Friday.
nothing on me.
Yeah, somebody wrote that on one of your posts the other day.
So there's a petition that over 63,000 citizens are demanding Barr resign, Attorney General Barr. Over 2,000 prior Justice Department officials, bipartisan, sent a letter asking him to resign. And over 1,100 judges have asked him to resign. And he's like, now last night they floated a rumor that if Trump doesn't quit tweeting, he might resign. That's bullshit. Don't fall for that. It's a bait and switch. He wants you to think I have a lot of integrity and I'm doing things independent, and he's just trying to cover his A. No, he's not going to resign and he's not going to be fired. I'm sorry, but I'm telling you, I hope I am wrong. I hope more than anything I'm wrong. I hope he resigns today. But he's already ruined his reputation at this point. Now somebody tweeted a good point. It might have been Matthew Miller, a former whatever. Anyway, that if he resigns, it will be because he's worried he's going to be indicted if Trump doesn't win. Well, it could be that.
Everyone around Trump gets indicted.
Everything Trump touches dies. Read the book, Rick Wilson. Okay. Then Stephen Miller, that Nazi that's putting all the kids in the cage. To me, the evils are Barr, McConnell, Trump, and Stephen Miller. They're the worst of the worst. Apparently, he got married. His uncle donated money for immigration, and they called it the big fat Nazi wedding.
Oh my goodness.
So Trump, we got to go in about 2 minutes, or we should be going now. But anyway, Trump made 31 false claims last week. The week before, 55 false claims, including 22 at a campaign in Des Moines, Iowa, and 13 at a college in North Carolina. FBI Director McCabe, after 3 years of torture, they're not going to charge him. That was a political prosecution. They dug and dug and dug. They couldn't find anything, and so they couldn't bring charges. They've been digging stuff on Hillary and Bill Clinton for 30 years, and they can't find anything, and they can't bring charges. Do you think if there was any morsel there, they wouldn't bring charges?
Exactly.
The golf trips to Trump properties are now at $133.8 million. There's been 29 trips of those to Mar-a-Lago, the others to other Trump properties. Jim Jordan, the house guy that goes after everything anybody does. I mean, he's just horrible. He's such a Trump apologist. Yep. Apparently, the Ohio State wrestler, when he was over there as a coach, he was the coach of the wrestling team's brother went to them along with hundreds of other boys and told Jim Jordan they were being molested by this coach, or the coach doctor, one or the other. Yep. And he tried to hide it at Ohio State. Well, the guy testified under oath last week at the trial in Ohio that his brother was one of the ones that reported him, and that Jim Jordan called him and begged him, crying on the phone for 30 minutes to lie about his brother to save this coach's or the doctor, whoever it was, ass and not report him. So Jim Jordan knew these boys were being molested, and he was covering it up.
He was just turning a blind eye.
He knows what Trump did, and he's covering that up now.
It's probably his best skill.
He's just horrible. The cover-up artist. That's the name. Oh my God, I just can't. He wanted this guy to testify against his brother, and the guy was literally almost crying on the stand. You need to Google that and find the link and see the Ohio State trial. Where the main guy, I guess it was the main coach, was testifying. I mean, it was just unbelievable. Meanwhile, oh my God, we just don't have enough time. He won't stop going after Vindman. Oh, you got to know this. Trump is cutting $4.8 trillion in the budget to Social Security safety net spending while diverting money to the wall. I mean, you got to know that. And smugglers are buying a $5 ladder that blends in perfectly with Trump's wall, and it's mesh, and they can climb over the wall. So for $5, you can go buy a mesh ladder that blends in perfect with the mesh of the wall, and you can climb over the wall. And he's still building that wall, which is antiquated. Most of these people are coming here overstaying their visa, or flying here not leaving, or they're not coming over a wall. Or oh my God, it's just too much. And he made 86 false claims in 2 weeks. I already mentioned that, but anyway, many of them were regarding Bloomberg, Nancy Pelosi, Social Security. It just goes on and on. We don't have enough time. We just don't have enough time. I can't. Well, we're going to have to stop. Okay, so we're going to have to see you next week. That's it. Oh, my God.
Yes, so we'll see everyone next week. Don't forget to shop leahblack.com. Use the podcast code and get 50% off all the CBD products and the Sun Youth Complete Lift Facial. And anything else, Leah?
Anybody that wants to get their news curated and wants the breaking news, I get the news and break the news before TMZ. I'm the one that can go through all the news and read all the papers and read all the links and read everything that's out there and fine-tune it down to the things that you need to know. In the meantime, don't forget to vote. And I'm worried about the primaries. I'm worried that the 5 moderate candidates, Bloomberg, Buttigieg, Biden, Klobuchar, and Steyer, are going to split the votes amongst the moderates, and Bernie is going to run away, an independent socialist.
He's going to get it.
I don't think he's going to. But
it's going to be him. It's going to be him and Bloomberg. That's where it's going to come down. And I told you 2 weeks ago we'd be talking about Bloomberg in a month.
Yeah, but the problem that my point is, so when you vote, don't go by the national polls. You need to look to the swing states and see who can win there.
Correct.
Who can win in the swing states and consolidate the vote to who the candidate you think can win in the swing states. I still think it's Biden. Because a whole lot of stuff's going to come out about Bloomberg in the next week or two.
Yeah.
But Biden can win the swing states. He's been vetted for 40 years. Bloomberg hasn't been vetted yet, even though I think he'd be a great president. There's a whole lot of stuff about him that's going to come out. But what I don't understand is why aren't all these videos coming out about Bernie Sanders with his Russian propaganda when he was in Russia years ago on his honeymoon, the things his wife said, the papers he wrote about socialism, the heart attack. He won't release any of his records after the heart attack. His wife had a big scandal at a college where there was a bunch of money. College went bankrupt. There's a whole lot of stuff about Bernie that hasn't come out. And I'm worried that he's going to not get the nomination, but he's going to be ahead, go to the brokered convention, and then throw a tissy fit like he did last year when he was 4 million votes behind, and say my way or the highway, and then all these people don't go and support the Democratic ticket. So you've got to look at the swing states, and you've got to see who you think in the swing states can really win the swing states, because that's all that really matters right now. And consolidate that, even though you may love all of them, Biden, Bloomberg, Steyer, Buttigieg, Amy, all of them, you got to take the one that can win the swing states. Vote for them so we get the most amount of votes behind that person. So if we go to the convention and it's brokered, Bernie doesn't have more than anybody else, number one. And number two, hopefully we can get enough votes behind that person to go ahead and go to the primary. For me, at this point, logically thinking, as much as I love Bloomberg and his money and the allure of it, I think Biden's got a better chance at the swing states right now. Having said that, I think no matter who wins the nomination, unless it's Bernie Sanders, we will beat Donald Trump. But the problem is we need to win the primary with a moderate. And that's the problem. So that's my 2 cents. I hope you guys are paying attention. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. All the gossip right here.
Don't forget to share.
Share. Hit share. Bye. Bye.